Hello and welcome to another episode of Wise Women Wednesdays. My name is Jennifer Regular, and I am the Soul Illuminator at Lighting the Path and also host of the show. And this is where I get to bring these amazing women from all around the world to share what they've learned on their journey to feel more empowered to become who they came here to be and do what they came here to do. Today, I have Barb Monson here from Minnesota, and I am so excited because Barb followed all of the society's rules. She did all the shoulds, worked her way up the corporate ladder, and ate goals for breakfast. But it didn't lead to purpose and meaning. And she always knew she was meant for more. Now she provides training and support to women who don't like the life that they've created and are thinking, now what? Other than transforming women in her Move Your Mountain program, she loves hiking, her hubby, and her skinny pop popcorn. Barb, that's so awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for being here and joining me today.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And to share your topic about goals are not the end game. I'm really curious about how you came to that realization.
I when I was really reflecting on my life and the shoulds that you mentioned I went through, I realized how I had always set these goals. I didn't achieve all of them, but the word achieve is paramount to goals. And I think that when we follow that path, we end up with achievement, but we do not end up with purpose or
Mm,
meaning, what
mhm.
we truly, our souls are really meant for. And I had achieved a number of things, I had met a number of goals, and it wasn't this big aha, like I've arrived, like everyone told me it would be. So,
Mhm.
go get your degree, go get another degree, get the house in the suburbs, all that's normal in Minnesota. Um,
Right.
go to the cabin. There's a lifestyle that we're fed
Mm.
and that we're supposed to be complete and happy. And the more I went after and met goals, the the less satisfied I felt, I guess. And felt a little guilty about that too, because I had everything I was supposed to have.
Yes, checked off all the boxes, and
Right. Right.
made those achievements, set those goals, and got to most of them. What do you think is important for you now?
I think that it is important for me to be really aware of how I want to feel. And
Mm,
without sounding too soft, because there's a lot of the women I work with are very corporate, very professional women. They're driven, but making choices based on how we really want life to go and how we want to show up in life. So if you
yes.
want to feel more balanced and peaceful, maybe stop going for the another promotion that's going to only bring more chaos into your life. That's just one example. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's critical to be really aware of how do I want to feel when I go to bed at night? Do I want to dread getting up the next day? Do I want to feel really good about where I am? Just really, like, where do you find the most balance and fulfillment?
Yes. What do you want to be experiencing? How do you want to feel? I love that, love that, love that. And it's really different from being emotional to you, right?
Yes,
Which kind of creates a
yes,
diversion sometimes, especially corporate women or anyone that's purpose driven. We're so driven that, we're
right.
more in our mind and what's the next thing and how can we do this better? Performance and productivity more than health and well-being or family or being connected or even in touch with our values and
Mhm.
how we can really align with that. And when we know the feeling, then that's ultimately the destination, right? Is what would give me that
Absolutely.
feeling? What would bring that about? So, what was it for you, Barb? What was that feeling that you've aspired to experience in
It
your life?
it was just really after many years of burnout, and I was in a position. I was the CFO at our company, so that's the top financial spot for the non-corporate people. So I had achieved all of it, right? I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
go, literally couldn't go any higher other than in a larger company.
Yeah.
A CFO of a bigger company, empty nester. And for me, I honor and respect all beliefs and faiths. I'm a person of Christian faith. So for me, it was a faith moment of saying, okay, God, I am in this moment of the kids are out of the house. I have more time. This
Mm.
is my job. I have time set aside for this. What else would you have me do? where do you want me to show up? And I very
Yes.
clearly heard the message, why do I only get what's left? Why is this job so sacred that you frankly don't even like?
Mm.
And that the whole rest of your life that you're waiting for is outside of it. So why does everything have to go around that? And that was kind of my big aha moment, where I really realized how I felt about what I did for a living, and how it didn't light me up, and how it drained me and made me less available
Mm.
for truly rendering service to the world that felt like it mattered to me. So that was my assignment. I had to quit my job. So I quit my job without a backup plan, which is not what I coach everyone to do who works with me, because that's true. I mean, that's not the right answer for everyone.
Mhm.
But really, to be able to seek who I was outside of that, and outside of my title, and outside of my identity, and really explore what I was meant for, was truly my life-changing aha moment.
Wow, that is so profound, Barb. That's wow. Just taking that in for a moment because it was a dramatic transformation, but a true defining moment as
Yes,
well that changed the whole trajectory of your life, essentially, right?
it
And
did.
from what I heard, it was like that taste of freedom,
Yeah.
as an empty nester, and then being open to the possibilities and willing to receive guidance from your higher power, higher self, and being curious about, okay, what else can I do? What else is possible? What more is there? What would give me deeper life satisfaction? What else am I meant to do? I've already done all the
Yeah.
rest of it, right? And yeah,
100%. Yep, you nailed it. You nailed it. And being open to that
yes,
guidance, like you said, is that just changes everything. It changes everything.
yes, absolutely. And then also the idea that, you quit your job and didn't really have a backup plan, and maybe that's not, recommended for everyone. But I think on some level, perhaps that you recognize that you were actually surrendering to the divine life path.
I was.
And that
Absolutely.
plan, right? So
Yes.
knowing that there is a plan already.
I think it was my way of showing that I had confidence in it, that there
hmm
was something else that I was meant for, and
Yeah.
that if I just kept exploring, it would be revealed to me in the right time. And I
Uh,
couldn't do that while I was hanging on to this job, because that was my security, that was my identity. It was taking up too much space.
Yes.
So, yeah, I had to let it go first.
Yes, that's exactly it. Having that space, having that freedom, actually having some room to breathe,
Mhm.
where you can actually recognize how you're feeling, what your life is looking at, have that kind of reassessment, reevaluation, and a reset,
Right.
and a chance to find balance and alignment and move into what is most nourishing and productive for you. So tell us what life is like now, Barb. What is your business about?
So my business is called Move Your Mountain, which that's yeah, if that's what we do, we move mountains, because most of us, when we want to make a shift in life, there's a mountain in the way, and we aren't normally taught the tools on how to do that. We're taught how to achieve, but we're not taught how to really reset and recreate our lives. So I work specifically with women, in a deep dive program. I'm not the best person to guide men into being strong and better men. So I work with women who have had a similar aha moment. It might not be as significant as mine, or it might just be an unsettled feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe their last baby went off to kindergarten, or they're caring for an elder parent who passed away. Something has shifted, and they're thinking, now what? Now what? This isn't quite right. What I've created isn't quite right.
Yeah.
So I do private one-on-one coaching. That's my main program. But I also, I'm an author, and I do a fair amount of speaking. I love being at events, hosting events, classes. I offer sometimes one-time classes. It kind of depends on what the audience is demanding in a certain season. If I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
a certain issue continue to come up in social media, I might teach on that. But my business is basically transforming women who really want more meaning and purpose in their lives.
Absolutely. Oh, that's incredible that you do that. And so, what are some of the things that happen initially when you guide them and they're coming into you and thinking, well, now what?
Now what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a client, pre-client, we just kind of do an exploratory session. And I
Mhm.
like to give people immediate value where they can meet with me and walk away with a 30-day plan. And then
Wow.
I can check in on them. How's it going? Do we need to tweak something? But for people who really need more support in implementation, because we can all set goals, we can all set visions, but implementation is where we usually fall away. We don't have all the skills and tools to implement a major change. So I start off with a deep dive session with a client, and we go through in depth where they are now. And I ask a lot of probing questions, and we just kind of crack it apart. And we spend the first good month just identifying where they are, where are they most out of balance, but even just in their soul, where is it off, and how do we recreate and paint a picture of where they want to go. And so once we get a really clear picture of where they are and where they want to go, then the inner work starts. And that's what we spend a lot of time doing, is the inner work.
Yes. The inner work is what helps make the outer work effortless.
Yes.
Yes, because you really come back into your flow and into your core and being able to express and move from that place.
Right.
Right. So it's incredible work that you're doing, Barb. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. And it's
Yeah.
very it's almost an unlearning and relearning of how to look beyond just simple goal setting,
Hmm.
because we're all taught to set goals. My goodness, we have a time of year that's dedicated to it, right? In January, everybody is setting goals again,
Yes.
over and over. And in corporate America, I'm not sure what it's like in your part of the world, but corporate America, it's very rigid on annual goal setting, and everyone has to have written goals, and it's designed to make the company better, but it's not designed to make you better. So we get so wrapped up in these external goals that really are not painting a vision for our lives. And they tend to be for things that we want to get, not in a way that we want to grow. And that's why I think goals aren't the end game. It's usually just arriving at a single point in time. It's not for the long game.
Yes. And to recognize too the true motivation behind that. Like you say, there's a lot of societal pressure, right?
Mhm.
In ways that are expected of us, whether it's family or a nation or country or a
Right.
church or schools or any kind of institution, right? That
Yes.
has a rigid set of rules or legislation, policies that need to be followed. And it's nice to have some of that structure with the rules and expectations, roles and responsibilities, and so on. But to also look at whether we're motivated through passion or obligation. That's something I
Mm.
often have people look at too. And for me, passion, when you can really connect with your true passion, is, well, I like to break up the word, pass I on. And that I is your soul's expression of what you're here to pass on in this lifetime. And it sounds like, Barb, that you've really been able to tap in that for yourself. And then also for all the people that you served, that have reached this plateau or this crossroads in their life, and to be able to discern and determine what the best path is moving forward, what kind of direction to go, and for them to have like a 30-day plan right from the start creates a new structure for them to step into and provide that security, I guess, in a way too, to support that life transformation, basically.
I really love, well, I love the pass I on.
Mm.
I think that's just a beautiful display of how we serve. And I love how you said passion over obligation.
Hmm.
What really drives our decisions and drives really our mode of operation?
Right.
Is it passion or is it obligation? And
Hmm.
obligation is a word that I felt as a heavy burden for a very long time. And I even had a career coach ask me why I was doing what I did when it was clear it was out of duty and not because of it was who I was. So we don't have that conversation enough, I don't think. We get into a track and we never learn how to get off of it if we want to make a significant change. And it's scary too. It's really scary.
It is, yeah. Going out on our own or having this big expansive space and just it can feel like a lot, and so we fill up our time in other ways and with people and places and projects and things just to feel safe in a way, I guess, and that we're meeting those shoulds and those obligations. And so you're talking about your program, Move Your Mountain. So it's interesting to me about moving your mountain and not climbing the mountain or going around the mountain. So tell us about moving the mountain, what that really means.
Again, just having a spiritual background, or faith-based background, it came from a scripture that talks about if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And a
Yes.
mustard seed is just the ittiest bittiest little thing,
Mm.
but faith is, believing in something you can't see and being able to move forward without knowing how, without knowing the finish line, without having all of the tools and the answers available to you up front. But if you can start moving in faith, you can move a mountain. So I think that just the thought of moving it versus climbing it.
Yes.
When you climb it, that's good too. That's good too. But the focus is on the mountain, and there's a different power in actually moving it versus climbing it. So I just cling to that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love that. And I know that you have a free gift related to that as well for the audience today. Anyone who's been listening and watching can access that. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. A lot of what I teach is vision over goals. Goals, like I said, are just where you want to arrive at a certain point in time. You want to lose 20 pounds. You want to pay off your student loan. The vision is so that you can what? So it's what is really bigger in your life. You want to pay off the student loan so you can free up money. Is it to buy your dream home so you can live by your family? Whatever that looks like. But vision is really setting a GPS destination for your life and painting a picture that you can visualize and emotionalize with it. That's what makes it real. And so I have a class that this is probably one of my favorite classes to teach. I've taught it live a number of times, and I see that people get the aha moments.
Yes.
But I have it available as a download that people can take. It includes a workbook and a number of leading questions. People can do the work on their own. And I believe you have the link for it. But if people use the coupon code or discount code WISDOM, just as an honor of being your guest, if they put in WISDOM, then they can have that class for free.
Oh, fantastic. So generous of you. Thank you, Barb. Yes, and we will have that link in the description and the show notes for everybody to just click into, and you can access that and learn more about Barb's work too. How would they be able to connect with you?
If you can just remember my name, Barb Monson, that is my website, barbmonson.com. It's MONSON. It sounds a little different from how it's spelled. I don't know if we pronounce it wrong or what, but it's barbmonson.com. You can also access the free class on my website under the resources tab. There's some other goodies out there for anyone that wants to download something, but yeah, the coupon code, the wisdom code, is not on the website, so you do have to take note of that.
Yes, perfect. Thank you for that website too, where they can explore more. And or is there anything else that you were wanting to share with us today, or any final words of wisdom, Barb?
I think just really, we didn't get into a whole lot of what a vision might look like.
Yeah.
But I believe that everyone has a divine calling or assignment on their lives, and so many of us are meant for more, and we settle. So I think any way, whether it's through my free class or another source, if you can spend some time just designing a vision and really thinking about not goals, putting goals away, but how do I want to feel when I look at my calendar for the week? Or how do I want to feel when I look at my bank account? How do I want to feel when I walk into my workspace or look at the person that's living in my house? Whatever it is in your life that you want to improve and expand, just really, I think just being vision minded and visionary, moving towards that, you will see your life change.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic advice. Thank you. Thank you for that. I love the idea of having a vision rather than a goal, and really getting in touch with your feelings in each area of your life. Yeah, this is really how we can create the life we want, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I think knowing that you can create the life you want is probably the first step, because we get so caught up in our habits and our routines. And we make things routine to serve us so that it requires less energy, but then we get lost in it and we forget that we can stop and look around and redecide. So I think just there's power in that. There's power in reassessing where you are. And this is a great time of year for that. You know, coming up to a new year, people are setting their new year goals, but if you can put that aside and just think about how you want to feel, not in the new year, but just in the new decade, just years and years ahead, that might inform the mini goals that you set along the way.
Ah, thank you. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Barb, it's been so fantastic hearing you speak and sharing what you know and your wisdom and how you're helping people, how you're serving, and the generous gift that you're offering. It's just been such a delight having you here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Jennifer, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm thrilled that I could join you today and speak with your audience. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I also want to thank each and every one of you that have been listening and watching today or on a replay or another time or even having a listen again. I know we always pick up on something different. So I appreciate you listening and watching on this episode. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up so that it can spread out to more people, it can reach more people, and that they can hear it too. And subscribe so you can hear more amazing speakers on Wise Women Wednesdays. Thanks again so much, Barb, and we'll see you all again next time on Wise Women Wednesdays. Bye for now.